Ireland is going to be the easiest international trip that you can do as an American ensemble. We are that European destination you're going to feel like you're in a different culture, but it is English speaking for the most part. It's not our primary language, but it is the most spoken language. So that's going to make things very easy. There's a shared cultural connection between Ireland and the US, with there being so many Irish people over in the US as well. If you're already working with a tour operator and you want a tour to Ireland, you reach out to them and say, "Hey, we'd love to go to Ireland. I heard this interview with a guy called Keith Kelly from Upbeat Tours and Events. Could you reach out to them and see whether they could work on the ground with you to make this tour happen?" We would love that because it puts our name in front of some more tour operators in the States. If you don't have a tour operator that you're working with currently, you can always reach out to me at keith@upbeattours.com, and then I will put you in connection with a list of tour operators that have partnered with us already, and you can reach out to them, and we can work on getting you a quote as well. So yeah, absolutely do reach out. And if you're not sure how to work that process, reach out to me as well, and I'll talk you through that.
Hey everybody, welcome to Call Me Beast podcast. This is Tim Hinton, and if you see me out and about, I hope you'll call me Beast. I'm talking with Keith Kelly today. Keith, how are you?
Hey Beast, how are you?
I'm doing great. Keith, I always love talking to you. We've had a lot of great conversations over, I don't know, a number of years now about drum corps and your work in Ireland with tour groups and all kinds of stuff. So thanks for being here to talk again.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time, well before you knew me. I was listening to your interviews and podcasts, and to help me become a better marching band director. So yeah, I really appreciate everything that you do, and it's been good to develop this friendship over the years.
Absolutely, and it's wonderful to get to talk to you again. And man, as always, your beard is right on point. Love it.
That means a lot coming from you, Tim.
Yeah, well, we're all about facial hair here, so that's awesome. Okay, so cool. So you have a new venture.
Yeah.
And I love the name of it, Upbeat Tours and Events. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, so I think the first time we met in person, Tim, was actually when I was with a group of elementary school kids. They were an elementary drumline. Colin Bell, percussion instructor from Boston, he brought them to DCI, brought them, and they took part in drumline battle and sound sports. So that's what I do. I work in music tourism. And prior to COVID, I worked with an Irish company, and we would send groups over to the States, and we'd bring groups to Europe, and specifically to Ireland. But then COVID hit, and there was two industries that were hit really hard during COVID, as everyone knows: travel. And then my backup plan, which was always, hey, I could just play saxophone again somewhere, but that backup plan was gone too. Wow. So then I got into podcasting. I followed in your footsteps, Tim, and I started doing some podcasting work.
And really successfully, everybody. I mean, those were, give us the names of the things you were working on, just in case anybody doesn't know about it.
So it was the Global Band Room, which is still going. I try to do some similar work to what you do, but with directors from other countries, and not so much based on American directors. And then I did a podcast called Finding Drum Corps, which you were a big part of
and
that.
It was wonderful. Yeah,
I love doing that. It was about me not knowing what drum corps was prior to 2014, and the journey that I went on to learn all about this amazing activity. So I did a lot of that during COVID. An American operator, Kaleidoscope Adventures, they took me on to do similar work for them, some podcasting work, and eventually started, when the travel industry started coming back, I started working with them. So I had this unique career in that I was based over here in Ireland, but I was working directly with US bands, choirs, orchestras, planning their tours. For the first couple of years of COVID, they weren't traveling internationally. So I was this Irish guy planning trips to Disney World for groups from around the States. So that was fun. And I always will be very thankful to Kaleidoscope Adventures for giving me that opportunity at a very difficult time for us. So sure. So I've been doing that for about 5 years, and this summer we started working on launching our own company called Upbeat Tours and Events, and that company now is launched as of last week, and we're super excited about it. To be I suppose after many years to have that, it's very exciting to be able to build something of your own. It's very nerve-wracking to build something of your own too, as you
Right,
can
but
imagine.
all that knowledge and experience that you gained doing it for so long at such a high level, you knew exactly what you want. I'm assuming it gave you a really great head start on, well, here's how we want to do things. It might be a little different, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. And there's very little that we want to do differently. I mean, we've worked with some great operators on both sides of the Atlantic. What we want to do is try and merge all of those great aspects that we've seen and we've learned over the years. So yeah, so Upbeat Tours, the Upbeat, it's positive, it has lots of energy, it has that musical connection as well.
Well, I
So
was going to compliment you on that title. Like, I think it is so brilliant because it's musical, and like you said, it's happy. When as soon as I saw that, I thought that whoever thought of that, man, my hat's off to him.
I cannot take the credit for it. Yeah. So my
Well,
partner
it's
who just
brilliant.
walked through the door there a second ago, that was completely her idea. So
Well, tell her my hat's off to her. It's a brilliant, great idea name for your new business.
yeah.
So tell us all about it.
Yeah, so it's a music tourism business. We work with student tour groups. We're based here in Ireland. So the famous one for everyone is the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Dublin. Colleges, high schools from across America will travel to Ireland. That's what got me into working in this business in the first place. Was bringing over groups to Ireland for the St. Patrick's Day Parade specifically. So we work with those type of groups, marching bands, but we also work with choirs and orchestras as well. So that's where we wanted to have some musical element to the name of the company. But we work with other types of student groups as well. What makes us a little bit different, because people are probably aware of the big names in US student travel and student music travel, right? So there's, music travel consultants, Kaleidoscope Adventures, Bob Rogers, and just to name a few. I mean, I think I did a research of this recently. There's like 250 providers there, over there. We're doing the same thing in Europe, but we're what's called a DMC, a destination management company, or a receptive company. Where we come into play is, let's say your group has traveled with Kaleidoscope Adventures, as an example, for years. You go to Kaleidoscope Adventures and you're looking for a tour to the UK for your band to perform at London Band Week. Kaleidoscope Adventures, their team are based in Orlando, and they're brilliant at what they do, and they're brilliant at the customer facing part of what they do as well. But they may not have the team or the knowledge of a particular destination. That's where we come into play. So we would be the ones that would be booking all of the accommodation, hotels. We'd organize the performances. We do all of the festival relationship applications, that sort of thing. And we work with the operator over in the States to bundle all of that together to get it ready. And then the operator in the States works with you to get the room lists ready, the payment plans, all of that sort of stuff. So we effectively become part of their team for the duration of that tour. And then, depending on our availability, we're the ones on the ground with the group in Ireland or the UK or wherever the tour may be.
It makes perfect sense. I
Yeah.
mean, so you're partnering with these companies that a lot of people know and have a relationship with, but it's like you're sort of the boots on the ground with all the knowledge, and you're there. And that would, if I was a band director and I wanted to go to Ireland and wanted to be in Galway, say, that makes perfect sense. I would want somebody that's there, that knows it, that's like that's my connection to the place. So it sounds like you're positioned to really be really successful, because who wouldn't want Keith Kelly being their guy on the ground that was going to guide them through, because you're there.
Yeah, and think of it this way too. I mean, these relationships between directors and their travel company can be very intimate and very strong relationships.
Absolutely.
So if you've traveled to Walt Disney World, every second year for 10 years, you don't want to change tour operator, most likely. It's unusual to change tour operator after that many successful trips. So if you have an Irish trip coming up, you don't want to go and ring an Irish company. You want your relationship to be with your company. So that's very important. And I think that's something that I've had this unique opportunity to learn in the last 5 years because I was part of internally within an American company. That's been a real eye opener. That's something that I never did, never expected that I would do prior to COVID. But yeah, I've been in the trenches with the American tour operators, doing those director calls, doing the late night meetings with parents, very late when you happen to be based in Ireland. And yeah, setting up those payment schedules and dealing with the customer services part of the company as well. So yeah, we know the pain points that the tour operators in the States have to go through. And yeah, I think it really positions us well. Even though we're just starting, this is week number 1. We do think that we're in a good, strong position.
Well, you are. And of course, Keith, you have a reputation in our industry because of that work and because of the podcast and everything else. I would, if I was working with whatever company, oh, and Keith Kelly, oh yeah, man, he's awesome. I know him. He's likable. He's a good guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have created a great reputation for yourself and your own brands, which I think are really to play here. But I love that you brought this up about the relationships, because man, every year more and more do I realize that's what it's all about. Like, no matter what, anybody listening to this, no matter what you do, build those relationships, never burn those bridges, because they will come back around. I can't tell you how many times in my career that's happened. So Keith, to your point, if I'm a band director, I really trust those people that I've worked with for years and years. And so if I could trust them to then hand me off to you, I'd be very comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's so important. And look, I've realized that, I need to approach things differently when I move on to new projects. And that's exactly it. A band director that wants to travel to St. Patrick's Day in Dublin, they'll want to retain that relationship with their operator that's brought them to Disney World, 5 times.
Oh yeah.
And that's important because we're ultimately, even though some of these companies are huge in the States, the tour consultants or the people that are working, they're humans too. And I think sometimes that can be forgotten, that it can be quite hurtful when you move to another operator. Someone can feel very strongly about their relationship and think that they have a friendship there with their clients too, and when they move, that can be very difficult and very painful. So we provide a service here where that isn't necessary. People can stay working with their companies and still use all of the expertise that we're able to bring to a particular destination.
Sure, it's the best of both worlds.
It is.
I love it. So why would I want to bring my band to Ireland? I mean, that seems a ridiculous thing to say out loud. But I'll just ask you anyway.
Well, I mean, prior to COVID, I never really had to talk to directors about that sort of thing. My job was to sell my services to the operators, who were already pretty good at selling the destination. But I do have a few years of experience of selling the destinations now too. Ireland in particular, Ireland is going to be the easiest international trip that you can do as an American ensemble. We are that European destination you're going to feel like you're in a different culture, but it is English speaking for the most part. It's not our primary language, but it is the most spoken language. So that's going to make things very easy. There's a shared cultural connection between Ireland and the US, with there being so many Irish people over in the US as well. The other really important part is the festivals that we have here. So St. Patrick's Day obviously is hugely famous. We've had, since 1991, we've had some major colleges, Marching Illinois, Marching Mizzou, the list goes on of the groups that have marched in that parade. But we also have a great choral festival here, the Cork International Choral Festival. Is an amazing festival every February. We have the Halloween. We have Halloween here every October. Halloween started in Ireland. Ihe Sauna that's the foundation of where Halloween came from, and the world's biggest Halloween festival is in a city called Derry, up in the north of Ireland. It's an amazing festival, an amazing parade. Another great reason to come to Ireland is the story of the peace process, talking about Northern Ireland. We live in a time where there is conflict around the world. Ireland stands as one of the pinnacles of how a peace process can work. And when all parties, the parties involved, but also a third party like the United States as well, can get involved and work constructively. So a lot of our tours take in the north of Ireland and the south of Ireland, and they'll visit places and people that have went through those troubled times as well. And I think that's an incredible itinerary to go on. So we had a group a couple of years ago come to us from Santa Monica High School. Kevin McKeown is the director there. He's a great guy. Kevin emigrated from Ireland back in the 80s. He was 9 years of age, and there was a story there with the troubles of Ireland and why his family emigrated. And this was one of his first times coming back with certainly with his own band, but even with his own family as well, and going through that story of his life with his band. It was an amazing time. We've had plenty of directors that maybe their father or their mother or their grandparents were from Ireland as well, and they bring their group over here, and it's always quite nice. So yeah, Ireland's a very easy country to sell to any group for lots of reasons.
So if I'm a band director in the States and I'm thinking, man, this Ireland, of course I want to go to Ireland. It's beautiful. There's all these festivals, great place to go. If I have a tour operator, can I say, hey, can we work with Keith Kelly and Upbeat? Like, do you have, I'm just assuming they can request you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we would encourage you to do that. If you're already working with a tour operator and, you want a tour to Ireland, you reach out to them and say, hey, we'd love to go to Ireland. I heard this interview with a guy called Keith Kelly from Upbeat Tours and Events. Could you reach out to them and see whether they could work on the ground with you to make this tour happen? We would love that because it puts our name in front of some more tour operators in the States. If you don't have a tour operator that you're working with currently, you can always reach out to me at keith@upbeattours.com. And then I will put you in connection with a list of tour operators that have partnered with us already, and you can reach out to them, and we can work on getting you a quote as well. So yeah, absolutely do reach out. And if you're not sure how to work that process, reach out to me as well, and I'll talk you through the next steps.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Keith, I'm really impressed with the initiative and the excitement. It's wonderful to have your own business and be able to sort of be in charge and do the things you want to do. You get a lot of autonomy and control and happiness out of doing that. It must feel great to work with a group and see them have this incredible experience and head home, really changed people.
Oh, so we had Benedictine College with us recently, a beautiful wind ensemble this year, and we've had some great groups this year. But I do have to make mention of Benedictine College. Tom DeVoren is the director there, and Tom is from Wales originally. He was a great composer. Moved to Benedictine a couple of years ago, and he brought his group over to Ireland, and they took part in a festival here. And every one of those kids were, crying and hugging and just saying goodbye to us like they had met friends and had an impactful, important week of their lives here, and an incredible group, and we're excited to work with them again in the future. But we see that regularly. We take for granted, that importance of travel, but sometimes we have students that have never left their state. We had one student on that trip that had never been on a beach, and they got to go to the beach for the first time.
Wow.
Just you see things like this happening regularly, and it can get very emotional. These trips.
Well, and travel is life-changing, and it changes your perspective on your world. I know the first time I went to Europe and came back home, I felt completely differently about my life, about the United States, about the world. It is incredibly powerful. And if you're a band director and you can give that wonderful opportunity to your students in this very safe, comfortable way, I just can't imagine a greater gift you could give to them. And Keith, it's wonderful that you and your company are providing this.
Yeah, it's a nice way to work, right? It's a nice thing to work on. And look, I mean, I'm the same. It's full circle for me as well. I was 14 years of age when my band took me to New York for the New York St. Patrick's Day parade. We were there for 16 days, would you believe? Wow. It was a long tour for a 14-year-old to be on. We came from quite a well-known marching band in Ireland called the Artane Boys Band, as it was then. And that opportunity to be away with my friends and at a formative time of your life as well, at 14 years of age, meeting the people that we met Bill Clinton. He played saxophone with us. Wow. Which was fun. And yeah, it was an amazing experience, and yeah, it really stuck with me. I mean, I ended up doing music as a career because of this. I joined the army band in Ireland, and now I'm where I am. I mean, my story of those touring marching bands goes back a little bit further, if you have a moment as well.
Sure.
Gary Smith, of Marching Illinois at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was in 1991. He brought a band for the very first time to march in the Dublin St. Patrick's Day, and I was 7 years of age,
Wow.
seeing this incredible band marching on the streets of Dublin. And I told my granny, who had brought me into the parade that day, that I wanted to join that band. Now, I never got to join Marching Illinois, but I got to join the local marching band. And so, maybe this is a nice way to finish up. All of these bands that do come over here, they have an impact. I joined my band because of Gary Smith and his work to bring that first group here to Ireland. I now do what I do, bringing more groups over here. We're very, very lucky in Ireland that we have the St. Patrick's Day parade to attract those sort of groups. But yeah, there's a huge impact that you and your students can have when they travel internationally, and hopefully we can have that impact on your students too.
Wow, thank you for sharing that story. What could be more wonderful than to know that you are marching down the street with a band that changed some kid's life and made him decide to be a musician and follow that as a career? That's what we all hope for. We want to impact our audiences, and I know it was true for me too. I remember seeing the band and wanting to be in it and the whole thing. So that's really awesome. I love that you're providing these experiences, and you're providing a safe, comfortable way for people to come, and they'll know you, and they'll be comfortable, and they'll have a safe trip. And it sounds awesome. Upbeat.
Yeah.
Travel and tour and events, man. I love tours and events. I love it. Keith, thank you for taking time to talk to me, and thanks for all the work you're doing.
Thanks, Tim.